Everybody should be saying that ABC should reverse their decision. I do not understand why people are not standing up and pushing back when they ought to, because what's at stake here is free speech. It's our Constitution and our way of life. Do we really want the President of the United States intimidating people, organizations to get others fired? This is not that moment. People ought to be standing up and speaking out.
Die for Jimmy Kimmel. I understand Immigration Customs Enforcement is coming for Guillermo today. They're gonna frog march Guillermo out of there. They're gonna senior frog march. They're gonna do a little senior frog march Guillermo out of there because it turns out he's an illegal alien. The Democrats are mentally ill. That was, of course, Illinois, the corpulent Illinois governor, Circumference, J.B. Pritzker. And, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault that networks decided they didn't want to carry Kimmel anymore because he's an offensive appendage. And he hasn't been funny in decades, and he's a political hack. And now mainstream America is finally striking back a little bit. And I don't know, did President Trump, honestly, after ABC and Disney decided to at least suspend the Jimmy Kimmel show after his funny little jokes about how Trumpites and MAGA killed, they're going around shooting conservatives and Republicans like Charlie, and the Democrats, I played the audio for you yesterday of Jimmy Kimmel being the rectal aperture that he is. And then we learned that it was ABC came in last and Disney said we're going to suspend his show indefinitely. And then President Trump said, great news for America. And then the Democrats, like that fraud, the bloated, corpulent Sidney Greenstreet of a governor, and bringing Sidney Greenstreet back for 2 days, and Casper Gutman, the governor of Illinois, the Democrat governor of Illinois, then blames Trump. Who else blamed Trump, Michael? A Democrat congressman from the Lost Marks brother from the state of Maryland, who is an angry idiot, and he lies all the time. We got him. Which one could that be? I still haven't narrowed it down enough. But they're very angry about Jimmy Kimmel. And has he been fully canceled? And one of the things, I was talking about this yesterday, and then I did hear somebody talking about it last night. The Democrat Party invented cancel culture, right? They invented, you said something that the left would kill you for with a rifle, and therefore you're all going to have to be fired and lose your jobs and lose your income and lose your families and lose everything because cancel culture has come for you. And then Jimmy Kimmel, with his outrageous comments that I played for you yesterday, ends up irking. And again, ABC, Disney came in last. Sinclair, many Sinclair stations across the country are ABC stations, and they at night carry the Jimmy Kimmel show. It's true of the ABC 7 station in Washington, D.C. That is a Sinclair station. And the Sinclair people said, you know what? We've heard enough of this, and we're going to not carry the Jimmy Kimmel show on our Sinclair stations anymore. And finally, ABC, Disney, and they employ the biggest gang of street prostitutes in all of media, I think. And as we played their funny news reporter, their network news reporter yesterday, too, with his comments about his adoring, cooing comments about the assassin of Charlie Kirk. And, he was so lovingly talking about his boyfriend, who he said is transitioning, like from what to what. They just, no, it's the Democrat use of the word transitioning. We all know it means they're going to sever their genitalia, put it in a blender, and make a fresh fruit smoothie out of it. The Democrat Party is mentally ill, and they're violently, criminally insane. I think everybody knows that. And Jimmy Kimmel, everybody that's paying attention anyway, Jimmy Kimmel canceled, in quotation marks, Newsweek magazine over Charlie Kirk comments. Trump celebrates. But then you just heard the filthy, grotesque, food-covered governor of Illinois blaming Trump as though Trump was somehow responsible for the decision at ABC. It's true that President Trump sued ABC recently. He got a whole bunch of money, too, didn't he? Because ABC, they lie all the time. They have these broadcast licenses, and they broadcast through our airwaves and giving us autism or something with all the broadcast woo. And then, they're also a part of the cancel culture ABC has been for years, because they're the left, don't you know? But now it's worldwide news, even Al Jazeera. What did Jimmy Kimmel say about Charlie Kirk before ABC pulled his show? Even Al Jazeera doesn't lie like the Democrat governor of Illinois and like Jamie Raskin, the Democrat congressman from Maryland, who is, again, blaming Trump. First of all, like there's blame, blame Jimmy Kimmel for being a massive rectal aperture. I said, do you know what that means? I think that's not too cryptic, I don't think, is it? So we've got that, and this has got the news media very, very upset. They're very angry because, oh no, cancel culture has reached us. Well, go fondle yourselves because, and what's the abbreviation for that? Isn't that amazing? But we've got that story for you, Jimmy Kimmel and his little joke, which was not just in bad taste. If it's just in bad taste, that's one thing. But the ABC network is a deep propaganda hellhole for the left in the United States, which is now shooting and killing people that they disagree with. And if you say, Jesus is Lord, they might kill you with a rifle. They might shoot you and kill you. And then when you make, it's not really even a joke. It was just idiot propaganda, and I'll play it for you coming up again. But the joke that shook the world. And these cross-dressing frou-frous who love assassination now, and they firebomb Jewish governors' houses, and then the Democrat Jewish governor deflects and defends them. The Democrat Party is very severely mentally ill, and they're very violent and criminal, and criminally so. We've got just amazing stuff, I got to tell you. So we've got that story for you, the Jimmy Kimmel and they're obviously they're no friends of the Republican Party and obviously of Donald Trump, who they praise the people that tried to shoot and kill him too, because the Democrat Party loves violence and political violence in particular, of course, with all the many riots by the hundreds across the country, burning city after city after their great hero, the criminal junkie George Floyd, died of cardiac failure while resisting arrest yet again. And the Democrats burned city after city. Have Republicans, Michael, rioted or burned any cities or overturned any police cars or killed 24 people like the Democrats in their riots for George Floyd or injured thousands of police? There are tear gas wars going on all over the country because the Democrats assassinated Charlie Kirk at the age of 31 because he said things that they don't endorse. And then widely and broadly across the internet and beyond, Democrats celebrating the assassination of a man much better than themselves. I was watching a video this morning, popped up actually, of his widow now sitting down with her then fiance, and they couldn't have been more charming and lovely and wonderful. And the Democrat Party they're not liberals, they're the left. The left is violent. Speaking of the left being violent and how they hate Donald Trump, President Trump yesterday declaring Antifa. They call themselves anti-fascists, but that's because they have no sense of irony. They're the actual fascists in the discussion. Violent, anti-Semitic, mob street violence, the black shirts and brown shirts. The brown shirts were Hitler's, the black shirts were Mussolini's. And the Democrats, what are they, aquamarine shirts, because they're the fascists of today. But President Trump yesterday declaring Antifa, so-called anti-fascist, which was founded by a radical leftist in Germany in the 1930s, and they still commit violence in Germany and have, home invasions and the Democrats are like, hey, we should model ourselves on the radical communist violent cult in Germany, founded in the 1930s when the Nazis were founded. But they're the anti-fascist. Yeah. Sure. Let's look at their behavior. But never mind that. And President Trump declared them to be a terrorist organization, Antifa, in the people in the United States, America, Antifa. And, you know, they riot and they dress in all black outfits and they show up with explosives and with weapons to attack everybody, violently attack everybody. And they're at least an aspiring terrorist group. Let's go ahead and give them credit and start rounding them up. What do you think? Round them up, Michael? Rail cars, rail spurs. I think going to need a terminal in the Midwest somewhere for all the Antifa people. And the Democrats act like this is fascism when they are assassinating you and threatening more and calling for elderly authors in the United Kingdom to be assassinated and calling for proud Americans here in the United States to be assassinated. And they're doing it online, which are typically public fora. That's the plural of forum. And the Democrats are proudly out there parading, cross-dressing and parading in public, cross-dressing just like the boyfriend of the assassin of Charlie Kirk. And the Democrats celebrate. You see, now the parents of the assassin find themselves in all kinds of hot water. I think largely because they turned in the assassin. And it's got to be the left that's angry with him, right? I can't imagine anybody on the conservative side of the real world would be angry with the parents of the assassin. The parents turned in their son. They're the heroes of the story. And now they are experiencing a good deal of grief. I'm gonna blame it on the Democrats. But I love all these stories. And we played again that Democrat governor of Illinois. Oh yeah, Trump. I blame Trump for Jimmy Kimmel being pulled off the air by ABC because Trump's got so much pull at ABC and at Sinclair. These people are absurd. They're ridiculous. But we've got a lot in addition to all that too. The hearing on the Hill yesterday with Kash Patel was the best one yet. It was even better than day before yesterday. Remarkable stuff. But the Kimmel thing is big. Nexstar ABC affiliates to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely. That's just great. TV technology writing. And Variety, very angry. ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely after Charlie Kirk comments. Their comments, they don't even try to call it a joke. They call it comments. And ABC pulls Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely after offensive Charlie Kirk comments. AB suspends Jimmy Kimmel. It's making headlines everywhere. The Democrats are really spun up about it because they think that you should be able to shoot and kill Charlie Kirk and then have a national television come on and just spew the biggest lie. He's obviously MAGA. The MAGA people killed Charlie Kirk, who's like an ultra MAGA person. And sure, MAGA killed him, right? Yeah, and it turns out it was a member of the Kennedy family that shot John F. Kennedy in 1963. Just make up the biggest lie you can imagine and spread it on national television. And you say, what? There are consequences for this? There shouldn't be any consequences for the things that I say. Jimmy Kimmel and his fellow travelers say, the arrogant, smug, ignorant, lying, creepy little apertures. And they say, and we're talking about this yesterday because there are some teachers and stuff who are, kill. They're teaching the children to be psychopaths like themselves. And some people have lost their jobs over the things they have said about the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. And they can't believe it. They're outraged. I can't believe there's a price to pay for what we've said. I'm sorry, wasn't Charlie Kirk just shot by a sniper through the throat and assassinated because of the things that he said? No sense of irony, these people. I'm telling you. Yes, sir. Yeah, and it's an attack on free speech. No, an attack on free speech was shooting him through the throat and murdering him. That was an attack on free speech. And that was you guys, not MAGA, not but the lie is so big. It's like their boy Joseph Goebbels used to say, gurgle, make the lie so big that no one would dare to not believe it. That is the Democrat Party today. So close to Goebbels. I like to call him Gurgle. And their socialist workers, buddies, amazing stuff. Wah, wah, wah. Yes, sir. So I've got, that's kind of a big deal, I've got to say. Fallout. And, I've got Mahmoud Khalil update for you. The Democrat Party's war on police, 5 officers shot in Pennsylvania, 3 of them killed yesterday. And what's going on with Pat Buchanan? Have that, too. We're at 888-630-9625. Yeah, ABC propaganda for the Democrat Party. You wake up to George Stephanopoulos. You go to sleep with Jimmy Kimmel in between. They have The View, and you should have your FCC license to broadcast pulled. How about that? Let's go to the telephones, Michael. I've got a lot of audio that you're gonna say, "Wow, really?" Listen to this stuff. Let's go to Matt calling from St. Louis, Missouri. Matt, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Happy Talk Like a Pirate Day Eve in Antiftopia. And, a few years back, New York Congressman Jerry No Nadzler, or the Waddler as you call him, he declared that Antifa was just an imaginary thing. So I think now that Trump's declared them a terrorist organization, they're going to try to, pull the 25th Amendment thing, saying, he's declaring an imaginary entity to be a terrorist organization. So that'll be their next ploy.
Well, to demonize and vilify and incite violence and incite 550 riots. We got some idiot today. Oh, the Republican Party, January 6th. January 6th, that never happened. They wouldn't have a single talking point. 2 hours. It was riot number 531, and the first 530 were the Democrat Party from coast to coast because they loved George Floyd, who was, of course, a career criminal, a junkie, resisting arrest, passing counterfeit bills to a nice immigrant man who's trying to make his way in the world and in the United States, while the Democrats deny all standards of civilization. And I got to tell you, Matt, some of the audio, Michael played some audio for me when I came in this morning that I had not heard elsewhere. And I said, wow, these people are just fanatical and relentless, and they're insane. Charlie Kirk was murdered by MAGA, which is completely insane. Trump canceled Jimmy Kimmel, which is completely insane. None of these things happen, and they come out uniformly by the thousands and make these false claims, and I'll demonstrate that today, Matt, because I don't like liars. I don't like liars in government. I don't like liars in powerful media organizations. I don't like being lied to. But a lot of Democrats do, don't they, Matthew? They seem to like being lied to.
Yes, they do. That's for sure.
Yes, they do. That is for sure. Yeah, I've got the FCC chairman for you, Chucky Schumer and Jamie Raskin. And how many times can America be lied to? I even whipped out some old Johnny Carson. Now I did. Yesterday I was going off on the Democrats and their assassination list and how they're calling, now that they've murdered, assassinated Charlie Kirk. They online and this website. It's their left-wing Blue Sky. It's their Twitter where lefties go. And they're saying, oh, good, we got Charlie Kirk. Now Trump should be next, calling for the assassination of the president. I played the audio the other day of the young mother with her little girls saying, I have the greatest news ever. And the little girls, 7 and 10 years old, are screaming, Trump is dead? No, it's not that good. The vice president's dead? No, it's not quite that. Maybe it's the third best. They said Elon Musk is dead because they're raising their children to be psychopathic, bloodthirsty leftists who want to murder everybody, right? And it turns out that woman, I didn't even get to that yesterday, that woman, and we played the audio. When did we play that audio? It was Monday, I guess. And turns out that woman is married to a U.S. Army officer, a lieutenant colonel, and I honestly think Child Welfare Services should go by the house and take the kids away and deport them to Uganda or someplace, maybe Uzbekistan. But they shouldn't be raising children. These people, that mother such as she is, that's right, I just called her a mother, shouldn't be allowed to raise children. The children should be taken away from her. But on this Blue Sky social media platform, they're calling for J.K. Rowling to be assassinated, for Andy Ngo to be assassinated, for Donald Trump, of course, to be assassinated, for Elon Musk, of course, to be assassinated. The polls from a couple of months ago now, Rutgers University and a polling outfit found that a majority of Democrats think that it would be great if Trump were assassinated. A majority, more than half, that a majority of Democrats think it would be great if Elon Musk were assassinated. And the Democrats calling for the assassination of the author of the Harry Potter books, that J.K. Rowling is her name. And I caught some grief yesterday, and then I did a little research, and I found Michael Piercy pointed it out to me, and I'm like, that's true. I referred to her as the author, J.K. Rowling, as an elderly woman, and I think it's because she's English. I think that must be it, because I looked her up, and she's only 60 years old. She's 60 years old, which is certainly not elderly, and I apologize for referring to her as elderly yesterday. That's not accurate, not correct. But one of the people that they're calling for the assassination of on Blue Sky on their social media platform, along with Andy Ngo. We were talking about Andy Ngo, played some Andy Ngo audio this week as well. But the Democrat Party is murderous and bloodthirsty because they're the left. They're the left. Man, oh man, oh man. I am telling you. In fact, they've got another J.K. Rowling attack today. And the headline from the left-wingers, Elon Musk reacts to J.K. Rowling's controversial post quoting Hitler. I love this. If you quote people from history, then you're that person. It's, you guys should stop firebombing Jews. How about that, Democrat Party? If you're going to go around calling everybody Hitler, maybe you shouldn't call for Israel to be wiped off the face of the earth from the river to the sea and support Hamas, which is a genocidally anti-Semitic organization. Just saying. But the Democrat Party, they're not good. They're not on our side. And I want to get to audio because this is a big hoo-ha, the Jimmy Kimmel thing. And Jimmy Kimmel is not funny, and he hasn't been for a long time. And they just do bitter propaganda. In fact, what was it, Monday night where he attacked, is that when it was? But then he went off on another rant about everybody and it's just pure propaganda. It's political. It's not comedy. It's not even humor. It's just mean-spirited, nasty, vicious incitement to violence by ABC Network, and they have The View, and they have George Stephanopoulos. Morning, noon, and night, they've got Democrat Party propaganda being nationally broadcast. And the cancel culture people, they say, well, you can't silence us. We'll just shoot you, and kill your people. That's how we'll silence them. And they try to cancel everybody they can. I guess they felt they couldn't cancel Charlie Kirk, so they assassinated him. They murdered him. Now let's go to what Kimmel said. And this is what got the ball rolling night before last. We played it for you yesterday, but here it is.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Yeah, the MAGA gang trying to depict the assassin as someone other than one of them. And I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about? And then what did he say earlier this week also? This is just Democrat Party. And look, this is in the immediate aftermath. Haven't even had the funeral yet. And the Democrat Party, the party that assassinated Martin Luther King, for example, that was a Democrat Party presidential campaign volunteer, James Earl Ray, that assassinated Martin Luther King, a self-described communist pro-Cuba. Fair play for Cuba, assassinated Lee Harvey Oswald, assassinated John F. Kennedy, the only Democrat president ever to have been assassinated. 3 Republican presidents have been assassinated, all by Democrats. And 3 Democrat presidents have been shot. and not killed, all by Democrats. But this is the funny stuff that ABC network, which I think they don't deserve a broadcast license. Maybe they should have their broadcast license pulled. I've got the FCC chair for you today, too. But here's Kimmel the day before he said this, just peddling this ridiculous lie, the MAGA gang. I'm sorry. Start ticking off the people that MAGA has shot, shall we? And then, well, let's get back to the Democrats and the violent mobs in the streets and the rioting and the looting and the arson and shooting Congressman Steve Scalise in a suicide attack where the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign volunteer shot Congressman Steve Scalise, and he was there to murder every Republican member of Congress on a baseball team, right, and on a baseball field. And that was a one-day story on CNN and ABC because they think it's okay. And that's problematic, I think. Man, oh, man. Now, here's Jimmy Kimmel just the other day, earlier this week.
Meanwhile, many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yesterday, J.D. Vance, who himself famously called Donald Trump America's Hitler, hosted the Charlie Kirk podcast from the White House, where he pointed his little mascara-stained finger directly at the left.
While our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Right. And by statistical fact, he means complete bullshit.
Now, again, I could go down the cities that they burned, but I've only got a 3-hour radio broadcast. The Democrat Party has mainstreamed political mob violence in the street, and they're trying to mainstream shooting political enemies, which is not something I advise them to do because you would come out on the losing end of that in less than a week, I'd say. And we don't want that. We certainly don't want that. But it does appear that the Democrats are pushing for more and more division, more violence, and Jimmy Kimmel helped. Now, it turns out the first one, the MAGA gang assassinated Charlie Kirk. That was Monday. And then he came out on Tuesday with that little gem. And then the companies that put him on the air said, I don't think this is wholesome American entertainment for family enjoyment on late-night television. And now the Democrats are screaming, cancel culture, which they created, which they endorsed, they fueled, they spread. And then when you find that normal people who are not mentally ill, and his mascara-stained fingertip, is he talking about the killer's boyfriend, who's yet another tranny shooter, as the media likes to call him, a murderous gunman, another Democrat with his cross-dressing, thinks he's a girl boyfriend, and that's all perfectly normal. But he's angrily attacking all of mainstream America, and these lefties have to be dethroned. And I hope that this assassination leads to great changes in our media. I'm not sure that we should be entirely optimistic, but Jimmy Kimmel in August, not too long ago, was on with Sarah Silverman, who is thoroughly out of her mind, used to be funny for a minute, and he said something that actually made sense accidentally. It happens from time to time.
It's the loud voices that scare people from saying what they believe and make you think twice about a joke or whatever, these things. And, a lot of their points are valid, but a lot of them are also just repulsive. And I mean, they repel people from, they go like, oh, you're no fun. I don't want to be around you. And I think that if you had to boil it down to like one thing, that's kind of what it is. It's like, oh, you're no fun. I don't want to be part of your group.
Maybe, what do you use the word repulsive? That the repulsive behavior, I think, might be mob violence in the streets of Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, and Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C., and burning and looting and sacking and plundering and killing dozens, literally, during their riots and injuring thousands of police, literally, and inflicting billions in property damage, according to the insurance industry, when they were rioting and looting and plundering because it was a sad story, but a criminal junkie died of cardiac failure while resisting arrest, and he became the instant hero of the Democrat Party. We got the party that has made Luigi Mangione an instant celebrity and an instant hero because, not in spite of the fact, but because he murdered a CEO on the sidewalk in New York. And the Democrat Party has been taken over by the left, and the left is a blood-drenched, murderous death cult. Just saying. The chair of the Federal Communications Commission of the FCC is a man named Brendan Carr. Brendan Carr. And he's talking about, and he was on last night talking about, with Sean Hannity on the Fox News channel, talking about Jimmy Kimmel being at least suspended from his show.
President Trump ran directly at these legacy broadcast outlets, and he exposed them to these market forces. And a lot of these affiliate groups said, to your point, we're tired of carrying this stuff. Late night shows, something's gone seriously awry there. They went from going for applause, from laugh lines to applause lines. They went from being court jesters that would make fun of everybody in power to being court clerics and enforcing a very narrow political ideology.
That is a fact, Jack. I've got to say. And I've got Chuckles Schumer, the Lizard King, coming up, and Jamie Raskin, the Lost Marks brother, who's out of his mind. And again, I pulled a clip of Johnny Carson talking about late night TV, and I want to share all of that with you and more. But right now, Michael, let's go back to the telephonic device where we can be reached at 888-630-9625. Let's go to Jonathan, calling from Centerville, Virginia. Jonathan, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Christopher, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Very well, my friend.
Listen, I had an idea I want to run past you, and with your permission, I'd love to add the correct terminology, a new phrase to the Chris Plant arsenal of phrases. We don't engage in cancel culture. That's what the left does. That's what Marxists do. What you're seeing right now, this is accountability culture, and there is a massive, massive difference.
You're absolutely right. You're 100% right. This is not out of bitterness or a contempt for free speech with the left, which the left has all over the world, but it is a desire for people to be held accountable for the things that they do, from shooting Charlie Kirk to celebrating the shooting of Charlie Kirk to everything else. And you're absolutely right. It's about accountability. That's very good. I'm gonna poach that, Jonathan. I'm gonna use that because it's very good.
It's all yours, brother. I offer it willingly, and I can't wait to hear you use it and take it to the left. That
is wonderful. Accountability culture. It's not cancel culture. It's accountability culture. 100% true. Very good. And that's what the left rejects. That's what the left cannot stand. Is accountability. They don't want to be held accountable for lying under oath to the Senate and hearings. They don't want to be held accountable for like Hunter Biden being held accountable for all the many things that he ought to be held accountable for, and on and on. But Jonathan, I like it. I've got it. I wrote it on my note here. It's on my note. Therefore, it's on my note. But I'll store it in my memory bank as well. Jonathan from Centerville with accountability culture, and that's why the left rejects it. They're anti-accountability. Yeah, we got mothers of little children, little girls, raising them to be bloodthirsty goblins, and the Democrat Party is unwell, and I guess it's left to me to say it out loud. Let's go to, and others like me, let's go to not Jimmy Kimmel or George Stephanopoulos. Let's go to John calling from Fairfax, Virginia. Oh, John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for taking my call. You know, Chris, I think it's pretty ironic that these lefty ideological progressives are complaining that their freedom of speech is being censored and taken away, and that people are actually standing up against the anger and the hate, the rage, and the violence that they advocate for, that they can't just go out and call people fascists and Hitler and Nazis, and that they're also losing their jobs because of this language. And so they're up in arms realizing, wait a minute, why can't I say that? I've been saying it for the last 10 years. The media says it. And so it's great to see the majority of our country finally putting their foot down, getting a louder voice, and saying in capitalization, enough. We are tired of this you-know-what, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. So Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert and all those great people out there that are advocating for this type of behavior, it's over. And Charlie Kirk's, assassination shows where we are right now as a country. So this has got to stop. It is starting to stop, and I just hope we see more of it.
Well, I agree with every syllable of what you just articulated there. But I've got to say, the Democrats, they're the ones that coined that. I've been mocking the term hate speech for years now. And hate speech to the left is anything that they don't want said in the public square. And then they turn around and call you every name in the book, of course, because were it not for double standards, liberals would have no standards at all. But I got to tell you, John, wait till you hear what Democrat politicians got Chuck Schumer and Jamie Raskin. Wait till you hear what they're saying about all this. And I do look forward to sharing the Johnny Carson thing too, because Johnny Carson was on our side. He wasn't a radical leftist, and he wasn't stupid, and he was doing entertainment, unlike the propagandists of today at ABC, at CBS, at NBC, at CNN, at the Washington Post, the New York Times. And it's true, a lot of us, and it's what you're saying, John, is a lot of us have had it. We've had it up to here. I'm holding my hand flat under my chin against my Adam's apple right here. Had it up to here, right up to here. Not up to here, but up to here. And we've had it. And now we're saying, if you guys think that while we still haven't buried Charlie Kirk, he's not in the ground yet, and you filthies are trotting out your hate speech, as you like to describe it, the same hate speech that led to this assassination, the same hate speech that led to President Trump having his ear perforated by a sniper's bullet in Butler, Pennsylvania, the same hate speech that led to city after city in America being burned in the name of George the criminal junkie heart failure Floyd, because your heroes murder CEOs in New York like Luigi Mangione did. The Democrat Party is a blood-drenched hate cult, and it's their rhetoric that has led to all of this and their cancel culture. More coming up.